Hi everyone, today I'm going to share with you some information about a social media site called Split Coast Stampers. SCS is a web-based community for paper crafters. It's a place that people can share their creative ideas, find new ideas, and meet and interact with people who share a common interest. SCS was launched by Davin and Tracy Nolta in 2003. Split Coast began small but grew quickly. They now have thousands and thousands of people on the site daily. They have 3 team members, their artist in residence, their community manager, and their advertising account manager. Along with this team, Split Coast employs the Dirty Dozen, which is a rotating group of 12 that spend time on the site. I think it's important to point out that Split Coast is really meant to be a supportive community of stampers and crafters. For this reason, they have strict rules about courtesy and kindness. Posts and comments that are found to be disrespectful or hurtful will be removed. I think this is different than a lot of other social media sites. That being said, the forums are usually extremely positive places. Most topics have to do with stampers and their projects, or the products they're using, but quite often you'll see posts on the Calls for Publication board. These give stampers the opportunity to share their ideas in magazines and other published sources. A large majority of Split Coast members are there for the card galleries. Split Coast is unique in that they categorize their galleries alphabetically by stamp sets. This makes it easier to find a card made with a specific stamp. You can also browse the recent uploads page to keep up on new things other stampers are doing. Another reason stampers gravitate towards Split Coast as their social media site is the number of tutorials available. A tutorial is a series of written instructions and pictures that help a person accomplish something. In this case, the tutorials contain information regarding certain techniques, full cards, punch art, and 3D items. The great thing about Split Coast tutorials are the sheer number of them. Split Coast has more than 600 tutorials at any one time. Each tutorial has roughly 10 to 50 member pictures in a gallery of how they did the project. That's at least 15,000 ideas in tutorials alone. Split Coast also offers a store directory to its members. They have small local craft and stamp shops as well as large companies. The store directory helps stampers and scrapbookers and crafters find exactly what they need to finish their projects. Becoming a member of Split Coast is just as easy as any other social media site. Although the site might seem really specific and for a small, specialized group of people, Split Coast says they still have roughly 100 new members daily. This is huge when you consider that Split Coast launched in 2003. They only had around 100 site views a day. You can imagine that a large majority of these members of Split Coast are not all the youngest crowd. Because of this, Split Coast has published an official list of acronyms that are usable on the site. Some of these acronyms are common, such as BRB or TTYL. Others are stamping specific. Split Coast is much like Pinterest in that you can search for ideas, but different from Pinterest in that you can find more specific ideas. It's easier to find project ideas for stamping when you're using a social media site that is only stamping related. If you've ever done anything creative, you know that you can hit creative roadblocks. One of the coolest things that Split Coast offers are weekly challenges. These are daily topics that give you a place to start creating. On that note, the most visited page on Split Coast Stampers is the Weekly Card Sketch Challenge. The idea behind these challenges is that everyone starts with the same layout and everyone puts their own creative interpretation onto the design. It's interesting to see how different the cards come out. Members are able to upload their cards to a special sketch gallery and are offered a badge to use on their own personal blogs. This leads right into Split Coast's feature of blog sharing. Members are encouraged to share their personal or crafting blogs with other members. This gives you a creative outlet if you're not keen on uploading your photos to galleries. Split Coast also offers something called a fan club. They define their fan club as a paid subscription that gives members fantastic special features on the site in addition to their already amazing free content. Subscription to the fan club is $25 per year. Personally, I think it's not worth paying for since their free content is so overwhelmingly abundant. The social impact of Split Coast on the stamping world is incredibly positive. It encourages people to share their ideas and praise stampers when we like something they create. I think the Split Coast team works really hard to keep the site a positive place. They want all their members to feel comfortable sharing their cards and ideas. Something relatively new to the crafting world and even newer to Split Coast is the idea of random acts of kindness. This started in the craft world as people accidentally buying 2 packs of scrapbooking paper, and instead of returning the extra, they'd give it to a stranger. Split Coast now has a whole forum devoted to stampers committing random acts of kindness. Although lots of stampers enjoy these random acts of kindness, Split Coast has an incredible buy-sell trade community. Members are constantly exchanging craft supplies, and it's a great place to find used craft supplies if you're not interested in all brand new stuff. When it comes to the future of Split Coast, I think it's fairly exciting. The continued growth of the site is expected, and Split Coast is quickly becoming the main online hangout for paper crafters. Split Coast has also made multiple mentions that there could be a Split Coast app in the future. Many people think the app would perform much like the Pinterest app, with the ability to scroll through galleries and add cards to your favorites. I guess in closing, I would say that although Split Coast had small and humble beginnings, it has quickly grown into the top place for rubber stampers, scrapbookers, and paper crafters to share their ideas and projects and really grow as a community.